I was once told that not everything need to make sense. Not everything need to make sense. I was once told that not everything need to make sense. Is that true? It's just a pondering thought that I was randomly coming up on today as I was starting preparing my day. Does everything need to not make sense? Well, I first like to go to the foundation and think that if we are the reflection of God, or we was created in His image, and this supreme energy or this supreme being was intelligent enough to create everything in creation with such detail and technicalities, with such intelligence. But we are the reflection of this supreme energy or this supreme being. We are His image. Not only that, but we are the vicegerents and caliphs of that which He created, of this entire universe. Then how can we rule something without intelligence? But the question is, does all things need to make sense? Does all things need to make sense? Or is it that most things just need to make sense? Well, the only thing that rises man above the beasts of the earth is not our flesh. Because when you look at us on the fleshly level, we all have the same potential. When we study the animals, the lions and the monkeys and things like that, one of the things that fascinates us about these things is that we seem to have so much in common. We all reproduce, we all eat, we all sleep, we all have this food chain cycle that is very identical. See, that's the flesh. That will make us just alike. We study them, we can learn a lot about ourselves on a fleshly, from a fleshly perspective. But what makes us rulers and caliphs of the earth? What makes us a reflection or an image of this supreme being and energy? What makes us God-like? Some even go as far as to say that the animal of the earth even have a soul, that they even have a spirit, that is the energy force that makes them live. It isn't just a flesh. For the flesh or the body can live without the mind. This is what we call unconscious or in a coma. Because we have the intelligence to create a machine that can make the human body live without the soul or the spirit or the energy even being in it. So that cannot be the sum or the overall bulk of it. That cannot be the height of this creature, the height of this thing. Because again, we reflect on this supreme energy, or this supreme being. We reflect on God, that whom we came in the image of, that whom we are supposed to reflect. And we look at His magnificence. His magnificence is what? His intelligence, right? Does all things need to make sense? I say all things need to make sense, but that's my perspective. That is my degree of intelligence. That is my understanding. It doesn't have to make sense to you, because we better not be on the same level. But for me, if I embrace a certain idea or a certain concept, if I choose to walk a certain way or go a certain direction in life, it can't be based on the way I feel. Because therefore I'm saying that my feeling is controlling my choice. My choice is my degree of intelligence. So I'm saying that my feeling, my emotions is going to control my choice. Well, let's look at that. Anytime we've allowed our feelings or our desire to control our intelligence, our choice, 9 times out of 10 it was the wrong choice. 9 times out of 10 it cost us in some way or another. There was a penalty that followed. Whether the penalty be pain or some type of material loss, or sometimes even physical. So can emotions control the intelligence? Is it supposed to? No, it's not. Why should I say that? Why can't I say that? How do I say that? Well, that's my intelligence. That's what I understand. That's the way I see it. You don't have to agree, because the idea and point of this here is that everything as an individual that you or I choose to embrace in life, that I'm going to base my choices on, it needs to make sense to me. It don't have to make sense to you. It needs to be something that I can fully or intelligently explain to you. At any given point where I can't explain it, but I tell you, well, that's just the way I feel. That's just the way I feel. That's what I believe. See, a belief also is a feeling. It isn't something you have to confirm with any type of degree of fact or science. So therefore, it's just a feeling based without intelligence. Yeah, it has a little degree of intelligence involved in it, but it's broken up with feelings. All the dots isn't connected. Does it need to make sense? Well, I say it does. Because if I'm a reflection of the Supreme Being, if I'm a reflection of God, the Supreme Energy, whom all things of intelligence was created, whom all things that connect and make sense. Look at the universe. Does it all connect? Look at us. When you break it down to the finest and most minute detail, does it all connect and make sense? Is it filled with intelligence? Do it all you? The further we look into creation, that which He created, not that which we created, it all makes sense. And it is so profound, it does not cease to amaze us. The more deeper we look, the more deeper we can look, because it all connects, it all makes sense. It's filled with intelligence, one level after another. But when we look around us, this is why nothing that we make has the same level of infiniteness, because our level of intelligence is broken up with feelings. It's broken up with emotions. We do certain things just because we just felt like doing it. We do certain things because that's what we like. Why you like it? I just like it. You know, made me feel a certain way. So therefore, many things that we create is broken up with these feelings of emotions, not always based and fully connected with intelligence. Therefore, these things don't have the same infiniteness as that which the ultimate creator, the supreme being of intelligence, has created his creation. Does all things need to make sense? Look at your life. Look at my life. This is why it looks the way it looks. This is why we go through what we go through, because we make some choices or more choices than others based on what we feel opposed to what add up, what is intelligent. Not based on another man or another individual or another woman's degree of intelligence or the way she understands it or the way she sees it, but the way I see it, the way I understand it based on my investigation. This is what makes sense. This is what matters. For all law that is established with intelligence. It doesn't have to be just. But yet and still there is intelligence. Every law is not just. It doesn't equate that, or just and law isn't synonymous. But intelligence and law is. For every law was created with intelligence, therefore it can be explained, therefore it is established, therefore that's why it remains. Because creation without law is disorder. There's confusion, and when there's confusion, there's no peace. And when there's no peace, there's chaos. So there has to be law. But without law, then there's no intelligence. For therefore, law has to have intelligence involved. It cannot be something that a person just feels. Any law that is established based on feeling is something that won't stand still. It won't be established. It won't last long. It's a guarantee. All you got to do is investigate the facts. These are my words. This is my truth. Like always, you can accept it or reject it. I just share with you what I learned, things that I see, things that make sense to me. I'm a student of life. I'm a student of me. I study myself. I study my surroundings. I study creation. I study people. I'm a student of life. Again, I'm not a teacher. I'm just talking to you. Does it need to make sense? Well, I believe it is. I believe it does. Does it need to make sense? Does all things need to make sense? I believe it does. Again, but these are my words. You can either accept it or reject it. Peace.